Hello again, welcome back to the potting shed. Today I want to do a pruning of my Portulacaria Afra Bonsai. Now, if you remember, I did a repot in April, in springtime this year, of this plant. There was a potential issue with one of the roots. There was a high root coming out here that I decided to cut away. There wasn't a huge amount of root on it, but actually what it has done is left an awful lot of support, lack of support on the left hand side now. So after I've repotted this has actually sunk over a little bit, so I'm a little bit unhappy with how it is in the pot. I think I would prefer it a little bit more upright, really, but this was the supporting factor here, and I feel like it's coming right over, whereas I think this is the apex. Really, I'd prefer it to be over here. So it's not been the most successful repot. I don't want to mess about with it too much, really, now that it's been repotted. It's okay, but I think when it's due for another repot, maybe it's not really going to be due for one for a while, but maybe in spring of next year I will just move it slightly in its pot and adjust it a little bit. But otherwise it's happy enough. It's been growing throughout the summer, put on a lot of new growth. As you can see, there's a good sort of 2 or 3 inches of new growth come through here. To be honest with you, I probably could have pruned this earlier on towards late summer and got a little bit more back budding and a little bit denser foliage, but with so many houseplants and so many bonsai trees to look after, it's a bit of a juggling act and some things get left out. So I didn't want to prune it. I probably would have pruned it before now, but I wanted to share it with you whilst I did it. So it has been on the waiting list to make a video of the pruning, but this is pretty straightforward. We're just simply cutting the buds back. The shape of it itself is going to stay the same. Each time I cut it, I'm going to get some more back budding and the foliage pads will get more dense. I'm still looking for a lower branch here. I think this is quite a lot of space here, which I would like a lower branch. I actually have a bud coming right at the base here, which is good to see. It, you know, it shows me that there is still energy for buds coming out lower down, which is great. But this is too low for a branch, really. Ideally, I'd want it about here, I would say. Maybe about this point would be nice. This one here is right at the front of the trunk, and I'd like to take this off at some stage and just have one more to the side, but you know, we'll just have to wait and see if we're lucky enough to get a shoot in the right place. So for the moment, let's give this a bit of a trim up and we'll see how it looks afterwards. Okay, so let's go through and take out the obvious parts here. We've got one piece growing straight up here, a very strong piece, so I'm going to cut this right back almost to the base. There we go. There's one coming out to the left. That's going to come right back. This has already been trimmed off. That's going to come right back. As a result of the previous trimming, we've got a side shoot here, which is good. We're going to get some balance. And at some point I may bring this down, but at the moment we're just trimming off the weight of the branches for now. There's another one that's coming straight out here. That's going to go right back probably to there. At this stage we're just trimming the strength of the branches back to enable more back budding, more side growth, and this then gives us options of ones we want to keep, new branches we might want to add, and the shape of the foliage. This one's going straight down, so I'm going to cut that right back if I can find it. Don't want that at all. Another one growing here, that might make a good side shoot, so I'm going to cut that back. This one's going straight out, which is fine, but we don't want any more length on there. Same for this one. So we'll all add to side branching in the future. Again, we've got a very long one that is far too long here. Now we have got 2 side shoots here, but it's going to be too straight. We've got a decent bit of thickness on it, which is useful, so I'm just going to bring it right back, and that will turn into quite a nice side branch once we get some side budding. This one again is right on the top of the branch pretty much, so that's of no use. I'm going to cut that flush. Really, we want branches coming out to the side like this one. I'm going to leave that to grow. That's a nice position. It's quite small, so I'm going to let that grow out nice and long next year like this one, and then we can cut it back to encourage side budding. So what we're doing is we let it grow, cut it back, so as it grows out it gets a bit of thickness, which is done there, it's swollen nicely, and then when we get the side branches and side branches again, we get a nice branching pattern. That's the idea here. That's a branch in the correct place that we're going to keep. So we are thinking about smaller branch refinement at this stage. This one up here, very strong growth. This is more canopy growth. We want to encourage side growth here as well. It's going to come right back. It's all good to see. It shows plenty of energy through the plant. It's done well this year. This one's grown sideways nicely. And to encourage that, I might even bring it out to here. Possibly that might be useful. Just brought that back. We've got one coming up because this is going to be part of the canopy growth. It may be too long, but it's interesting. So we'll see how that goes. Another long one here. Cut it back to a side shoot. As you can see, so for the canopy we want this kind of triangular shape. But we're not worried too much about the overall shape just yet, because we're still looking at refining the branches and the branch shapes at the moment. This was quite a strong one again. It's going to go hard back. It's probably a bit tall. There we go. Fact, changed my mind about this one. It's going to go a bit further back onto this branch here again. Ultimately I'd like to remove this at some point. We'll see how we go for it. At the moment, just bringing the branches back down. To make it look a bit neater. Going further back, this branch here, there's a small one going straight down, so that can come off. It's of no use. Don't want any branches going straight down. Sorry if my arms are going to be in the way a little bit here. Just cleaning up further inside a little bit. There we go. So we're getting some progress with getting some density. As you can see here, this is the previous pruning. We've got two side branches at the front, one at the top here. So we're getting some density. These have forked. So slowly we're getting smaller leaves and we're getting a bit of shape at the top. I think this will look a lot better when we're bringing it back up again. But in the meantime, I think it's looking okay. Just the one further back there doesn't really need too much. Just going to take the top off. Again, we're just encouraging more denser growth by trimming the tops out. So there we are. That's pretty much it for now. I think just giving a bit of a haircut, and obviously with some of this stronger growth, if you wanted to make some more cuttings, let's see if we can find some. That's a decent cutting there. You just to take some of the lower leaves off, or quite a few of the lower leaves. What I would do, as this is a succulent, I would just leave this for a day or so for this, because that's quite wet, that shoot there. I just leave that to dry off a little bit and then put it into some soil. You've got 1, 2, 3 nodes. Put it into some soil like that, some dampish soil, not wet soil, and then from these different nodes you should get roots come out, and then you've got a nice healthy little cutting that you can create that will eventually grow on. And these things grow pretty quickly if you can get them in the sun and a warm temperature. Then these do grow quite well, although in the UK here they don't quite have the best of the conditions, but it's pretty good. These are the cuttings that I planted a while back now that have got some decent size on them. I don't know if you can see that. This will be coming in another video. I'll be styling these, so if you're interested in the styling videos, then make sure you are subscribed, because that is a video that will be coming up shortly. Alrighty, there we go. That's it for this one. Just a quick pruning video. I will keep you updated with the progress of this one. It's now going to be going inside for the winter. Our winters are too cold and wet for these to survive, so this will be living in my bathroom for the winter, and then it will be coming out and growing on in my garden in the summer, which time I'll be feeding it regularly, getting some good growth on, and I'll be doing some follow-up videos on the progress of this one. We'll give it a repot, we'll get it into a bit of a better situation. But it's a nice plant, I like it. It's got a nice trunk, it's got some nice movement now, so I think it's going to make for a very nice Portulacaria bonsai. So stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will speak to you soon with another houseplant and bonsai video. Bye for now.